Hey there, Yogi. My name is Julie, and I'm the owner here at Be the Love. In this interview with Masella, you'll get a chance to learn what it's like to transition from being a fitness or a gym person to bringing yoga practice into your life in a real way. I hope this interview inspires you as much as it did for me. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I teach all levels virtual flow at Be the Love and Vinyasa flow at Be the Love.
What inspired you to go to your first yoga class?
So I was a cardio junkie, actually. I was just a fitness person. I've always been into movement. That's just always been something I've done. And I belonged to a gym, and there was a yoga class at the gym. And I'm like, I had tried every single class. And I'm like, all right, let me give this yoga thing a try. And the first class, like many people, I was like, this isn't for me. I didn't get my heart rate up, I didn't get my
Mm,
cardio fix. Um, but I kept going back. There was something about it that just I kept going back. And then I would say after 6 months to a year, I was hooked
yeah.
because it brought me something that other fitness classes didn't. And I didn't quite understand what that was yet. But as it grew and evolved, I realized it was that calming factor, that tuning into your body, that kind of deeper awareness that you don't get going to like a step aerobics class or a spin class. Although I do still do that stuff
Mm,
for a well-rounded fitness program, but I
mm.
stuck with yoga faithfully.
That's Yeah, that's it's so interesting. I was just talking about that was with another teacher about how um, you don't quite know what it is that's happening in the yoga class, so you can't quite figure it out. But then in retrospect, you look back and you're like, oh, like I see now that this was like just giving me this closer connection with myself, and that is something that I want, and that's something that I was craving,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. Yeah.
and to be able to do that through a physical modality is really amazing, right? Because you're getting this like you're getting that physical workout, you're getting that physical engagement, but you're also getting like this whole other mindset shift.
Right. And just
Amazing.
to be aware of your body. It's such a, for people that aren't typically, it's like a new experience, like just
Mhm.
understanding not just like what goes on, physiologically, but just kind of like, oh, when I move in this way, this is how I feel, or when I do this, this is what
Mhm.
respond this is how I respond to stress, or this is how I just kind of recognizing patterns within your body, patterns within yourself, that I think sometimes in a typical fitness class, you're pushing so hard that you don't stop and you don't go to that place because
Mm,
it's not really space to do that either. It's not, there's music playing, they're motivating you, which is great. That
yeah.
has its purpose. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's just so much more benefit to a yoga practice that you don't get in that
Yeah.
type of environment.
Oh gosh, yes, you nailed it. That's so true, and it's so on. I think sometimes it's hard to make the case for what yoga is and how it is different from other physical modalities. Like often we get grouped in the same category as like a bar or Pilates or a workout studio, but like this is so unique in the tools that it gives you and the awareness, right? That awareness is so powerful. And
Yeah.
it changes just like how you are with yourself in a good way, right? Like in a good way. What inspired you to become a yoga teacher?
So I've always been a kind of a holistic seeker of myself, of my own health, of my own
Mm,
well-being. I've always been into like dabbling in Eastern medicine. I've always gone to like an acupuncturist. I've always
mm,
been interested in massage therapy. And it was always like in the back of my mind, it was a path that I thought that I would take at some level professionally. I actually applied to a massage therapy school several years ago and got an interview and everything, but I ended up getting pregnant with my son, and the timing just wasn't right.
mm,
And so that kind of fell by the wayside. And then this yoga, and then I had always wanted to do yoga because of that holistic piece, which I feel like benefits me so much. I wanted to share with
mhm.
others. And then this training came up that was 10 minutes from home. And I said, this is like the perfect opportunity. I may as well jump on it and do it.
for Move More in May, you are leading our variety pack, which is the full try a little bit of everything sampler plate version of motivating to move for 31 yoga classes in 31 days. What would you say to somebody who is thinking about joining Variety Pack, but maybe wants to know a little bit more about it or wants to be convinced that this is the one for them?
Well, I would say the nice benefit of Variety Pack is that you're not kind of like stuck into one type of yoga, or
Mm,
you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm just going to be doing yin, or I'm just going to be doing restorative. And, what if I get comfortable with that and I want to try something else? I think this is a nice way if you don't have quite a regular yoga practice to sample and to find out like what resonates with you, because we all have, and that changes over time. I kind of came into yoga, into the power flow, and that's changed over time. I don't necessarily gravitate toward that anymore. And
mm,
that might be something you discover, and maybe you are that person. Maybe you're the power person, and you just haven't explored restorative or yin. And maybe that's something that you might
mm,
try and say, "Hey, I didn't realize this was out there," and this is kind of resonating with me right now. So I think it's nice to we kind of get stuck in these little pockets of this is what I like, and I'm not going to change that. And I think it's nice
mm.
to break outside of that sometimes. That's part of the yoga practice too, right? Like trying new things and trying them on, see if they fit. And if they don't fit, you know what, that's fine, but at least you gave it a shot.
Yes, yes, it's so true. We're also noticing, or I've been noticing, that the people signing up for Variety Pack are maybe a little hesitant to, they're just like not sure what it is that they like. They're newer to yoga as well. And they're finding that by having the space and the support to try all the things, it's like they're more likely to push themselves to try things that they wouldn't necessarily try.
Yeah, this is a great
Yeah.
time to actually do it because sometimes we get intimidated in a group class because we're not sure that we might be embarrassed about we don't feel like we're doing a pose correctly, but you're going to be in the comfort of your own home, and like that's the time. Like no one you make mistakes, or not even make mistakes, but just learning the way that your body moves, and you in the comfort of your own space, and
Mm.
you have the freedom to just kind of try things that you might not want to try in a group class. I think that's like a great opportunity.
What would you say to somebody who is newer to practicing yoga at home? What advice or tips do you have for them to get started with a home practice?
I find what works for me, and everyone's different, but I find having a set class. If I sign up for something, I'm more
Mm,
likely to follow through and do it. Whereas if I say,
mm,
oh, today I'll just kind of do a yoga class at some point during the day, then I might like never get to it.
mm,
But if you just took even a pre-recorded class, you could do a half hour of it and come back to it later. Just take it in little bits and pieces. Even just at night when we're all sitting, binge watching our favorite shows, there are some like little stretches you can do just to get in a yoga practice. And if you have a somewhat of a yoga practice, you'll know different things to do. So even just 10 or 15 minutes doing that at the end of the day. But I would recommend like trying to sign up for a scheduled class because there's just more motivation, I think, when you're signed up because there's that like, okay, I
mm.
want to go. I made the commitment and now I'm going to show up for it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I find that as well. I think I've been really craving the container of doing something as a group too, right? Like when you know that there are going to be other people that are doing this pathway with you. The idea of like, okay, well, I want to go because I want to see who's there and I want to say hi to them. As we all do this journey together. So that community aspect is so nice as well.
And this is also a great time. Like if you're trying to learn poses in general and you're just not familiar with them, like you can pause the video and you can kind of like work in the pose while the teacher, and you can go through it at your own pace. So it's kind of a nice
Mm.
opportunity, and you can just work with one pose for like 10 or 15 minutes if you want.
Oh, it so is, and it is all, I mean, it's all practice, right? Like
Yeah, it's all
there's no
I am
end
not
game.
enlightened by any means. No.
Yeah, find out that like the next class can be even harder in some ways. The more we practice, the more you begin to become aware of like the subtle body, and practice can become harder, not
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
So
It's so
that's
much
good.
so true.
So true. Michelle, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
all that you've shared today. And truly, I am so excited to join you in your variety pack over the next 31 days. I think it's going to be so fun to see, just being able to experience all the different classes that we offer and be able to really get a sense of like what they are so that when you're in when you're looking for something you can kind of know what is that thing that I most need right now and have a practice that you
Yeah.
can bring in into your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see everyone there. So it's gonna be great. I'm excited. Yay.
Yay. Michelle, thank you so much for sharing all that you are with us here at the studio. I truly love your classes. I love how authentic and real and compassionate you are in your teaching. And Yogi, if you are interested in practicing more with Michelle, you'll be able to following the links below this video and on her page here at our studio. So check her out, give her a try, and maybe she'll inspire you to make that transition from fitness to yoga and maybe a little blend in between. Be well.